All right, today we're talking about NVIDIA's brand new entry-level GPU, the RTX 5050. It's being marketed as the most budget-friendly way to get into the RTX 50 series lineup. But is it actually worth buying? Or should you save a little more for the RTX 5060? Or even look back at the last-gen 4060 and 4050? In this video, we'll go over the specs, performance, and comparisons with older and newer GPUs, so by the end, you'll know if the RTX 5050 deserves your money in 2025. So let's start with the numbers. CUDA cores. The RTX 5050 packs around, spec placeholder, 3000 cores, definitely a step up from the 4050, but quite a bit lower than the 5060. VRAM. We're looking at 8 GB of GDDR6 VRAM, which is decent for 1080p gaming in 2025. But it might start to struggle in heavier AAA titles at higher resolutions. Clock speeds boosts up to X gigahertz, so it's no slouch in raw speed. Architecture, built on the latest Blackwell architecture, meaning it gets all the generational improvements in power efficiency and AI-driven features. Ray tracing and DLSS 4. DLSS has gotten way better, especially with frame generation. This is where budget cards like the 5050 really benefit. You're getting playable frame rates in games that would normally be too demanding. Now, how does it actually perform compared to older GPUs? Versus the RTX 4050, the 5050 is roughly 25 to 30% faster in most benchmarks, thanks to the improved cores and DLSS upgrades. Compared to the RTX 4060, though, it's closer to 15 to 20% behind. So the 4060 is still the better 1080p, 1440p card if you can find it cheap. If you're coming from a 30 series card like the RTX 3050, the jump is huge, sometimes nearly double the performance. Plus you get all the modern features. Basically, the 5050 feels like the true replacement for the 4050, and it sets the baseline for budget gaming in this new generation. So what about the cards above it? The RTX 5060 has 12 GB VRAM, higher bandwidth, and about 35 to 40% more performance. That makes it much more capable at 1440p gaming. The RTX 5070? That's in a completely different class. You're looking at nearly double the 5050's performance, but of course, double the price too. So here's the deal. If you're sticking to 1080p gaming and you just want solid frame rates in esports and mid-range AAA titles, the 5050 makes sense. But if you want more future-proofing, the 5060 is probably the sweet spot. Now the big question, the price. NVIDIA is pricing the RTX 5050 at around $250 to $300, which positions it as one of the cheapest ways to get into ray tracing and DLSS 4. For budget builders, it's attractive, especially compared to last-gen prices, where even the 4050 sometimes launched higher than that. But remember, the 5060 might only be $80 to $100 more, and that extra cost could give you a card that lasts longer before you feel the need to upgrade again. So, is the RTX 5050 worth it? If you're on a tight budget, play mostly esports titles, or just want a solid entry-level card for modern features, yes, it's worth it. But if you can stretch your budget a little, the RTX 5060 is the much smarter long-term buy. And if you find a last-gen 4060 on sale, that could also be a better deal since it's still faster than the 5050. Bottom line, the RTX 5050 is a great budget entry point, but it's not the best value if you're planning to hold on to your GPU for several years. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, would you actually buy the RTX 5050 or are you saving for the 5060 or higher? Don't forget to drop a like if this helped and subscribe for more GPU and gaming PC breakdowns.